You haven't told me what Dr. West wants to see you about.
That's because I don't know.
You're telling me a doctor calls to make an appointment, doesn't say why?
That's what I'm telling you.
And you've no idea what it's about?
Well, I'm sure if it was important, he would have said.
Well, I've got no lectures till this afternoon, so I thought we could have lunch together.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Morning.
Morning, thanks.
Come in. Mrs. Johnson, take a seat. There was really no need for you to come. I could have dropped in to see you this afternoon.
It's fine. I was in the area anyway.
I'm sorry I wasn't more forthcoming on the phone, but I do need to speak to you about this in person. I must stress that everything that we discussed this morning is strictly confidential.
So you said.
I've received a letter from a Dr. Gold from a practice in Stourbridge. He was hoping that you might be able to give him some information.
Me? Why?
The information is of a personal nature, and it may come as something of a shock.
Just tell me what it is.
Dr. Gold has located me as your doctor through a special agency. Now, one of the things this agency does is help adoptees find their family medical history.
Yes?
Mrs. Johnson, I want to make it clear, this isn't about making direct contact. And there's no compulsion for you to do anything you don't want. One of Dr. Gold's patients is a woman called Susan Jessup. Now, Susan was adopted in March 1986 when her name was changed from Mary Campbell. Susan would very much like to know her family medical history.
But what has this got to do with me?
Sorry? I assumed... Well, according to the letter, the agency has established that you are Susan's mother.
Well, it seems the agency's made a mistake.
Mistake? You sure?
I think that's something I should know.
I am so sorry. So sorry.
Well, that's all.
Mrs. Johnson.
Hello, stranger. Good to see you again.
Good to be back.
You're here to stay, I hope.
Yeah, just as well. I couldn't have faced another day at Sutton Vale.
Overslept. Hi, Jimmy. I'll see you later.
Yeah, good to see you too.
I couldn't believe it when I heard about Peter. Must have been awful.
Well, I had a taste of what life was like for Peter. The pressure the poor guy was under must have been unbelievable. Someone I need to brief Mac on if he's free.
He's with a patient at the moment. Shouldn't be too long.
I'm fine. There's no need to fuss.
You fainted. We need to find out why.
I just got up too quickly.
No harm in being sure. Your blood pressure is a little low. This must be very difficult for you.
Why would it be difficult? I've told you somebody's made a mistake, that's all. Now, I really have to go.
Hold on, Mrs. Johnson.
PCT sent in a couple of doctors first thing this morning, so my services are no longer needed at Sutton Vale.
Well, it's too late. Why didn't May do that when I asked him?
Well, at least you know you did everything you could for Peter.
I wish I could believe that.
I mean it. There aren't many who push the boat out the way you did.
But what good did it do? Sorry, I'm sorry. You did a very good job in very difficult circumstances, and I really appreciate it. Thanks.
Well, I'm just glad it's not me that has to sort it all out, that's for sure. I mean, it's going to take years to turn that practice around. Even when you can find them, the patient's records are all over the place. All surgeries and chaos.
Why do you think Peter got into that state?
Who knows? I mean, there's nothing more any of us can do now, is there?
A man's dead, Jimmy. And he wouldn't be if he hadn't been for Murray. I'm not going to let that rest.
Dr. Gold, it's Nick, in West. I've just seen Mrs. Johnson.
Ah, good. Was she willing to help?
Well, I'm afraid I've got bad news. She says Susan isn't her child.
That's just not possible. There's no question our records are correct. You don't think this might have been a result of shock?
I wouldn't rule it out, but even if it is, I can't see her changing her mind.
That'd be very disappointing.
I'm sorry. If there were anything I could do to help.
There's so much at stake here. Perhaps if you could try just once more.
Okay.
Okay, listen, I know you've all got very strong feelings about this, but we must not let our emotions run away with us, which is why Ronnie is here to provide a cool head.
When you're taking on a big target like a PCT, there are very specific channels you have to go through. I'm one step ahead of you there. I've had a word with a mate of mine who happens to be on the board, Justin Webb. He's the co-chair of the committee.
How do you know him?
Don't ask.
Ah, not a member of the gay mafia by any chance?
He's someone who knows how it works there, and he reckons that we have to get our evidence about Murray in front of the other members of the board. Now, apparently the best way to do that is crash their next executive meeting, and when it gets down to any other business, we jump in with our contribution.
Which is... I mean, what exactly do we have when it comes to hard evidence?
Wasting thousands on a stupid scheme like body MOT while he let Peter's surgery go to hell.
You know, I'm going to have a nose round the PCT, see what dirt I can dig up.
Well, that sounds dangerous to me.
Oh, no, not if you know what you're doing. You see, in my time, I have wormed my way around far more intimidating places than Leatherbridge PCTs, trust me.
And we've got Jimmy.
Me?
I had to get one of our doctors to hold the fort at Sutton Vale because Dr. Murray wouldn't act. His responsibility. Why was he stalling when he knew how bad things were there? If Jimmy tells them half what he told me this morning, Dr. Murray won't have a leg to stand on.
No, wait a minute. Let's just think this through. I mean, we're talking about taking on the chief executive of a PCT. We all know what kind of man Murray is.
So...
Well, he's a very powerful man with powerful friends, and he'll be fighting for his career. I mean, what if we take him on and we lose? Has anyone thought about what could happen to the mill if Murray comes looking for revenge?
Right, I'll get cracking with my mole at the PCT.
Well, be careful with that. You don't want it backfiring on you. And Jimmy, do you think you could make some notes on Sutton Vale? Just an outline of the basic problem.
Where do you want me to start?
Right, I'm off home. I'll see you at dinner.
Oh, you must be Nick. I'm Jimmy.
Hi, I love you. Interesting meeting.
Yeah, you could say that. Don't know how far it's got us there.
What's the problem?
How long have you got?
30 seconds at the moment. Another time. I'd love to hear more.
Well, why don't we meet up after work?
I'm up for it.
Ronnie?
Yeah, sure. Sounds good. Oh, hang on. I better talk to George. Oh, his master's vomit. No, she just mentioned something about dinner.
There's the thumb. There's Ronnie.
I just stopped to get some things for lunch.
And what was wrong?
Sorry?
At the doctor's, what's the big mystery?
Oh, sorry to disappoint you. It's just a routine test.
So a doctor calls you to ask you in for a routine test. Look, I know you. You're holding something back. Now, please, tell me what's wrong.
There's nothing to tell.
Look, Tess, I'm not joking. Tell me what's wrong.
Honestly, you're making a big fuss about nothing. Adrian, what about lunch?
Tricky situation, that's for sure.
Yeah, my first duty is clearly to my patient, even though she did not tell me the truth.
But you may be. Don't discount that.
Dr. Gold is adamant the records are correct. Then there was the way that Mrs. Johnson reacted. You know, I may be unlocking some kind of trauma. Do I have the right to pursue it further, knowing that I may cause her more suffering?
What do you do when you start getting involved in someone's life? This would be such an easy job if I knew the answer to that.
I'm sorry, Mac. I know you've got a lot on your mind at the moment.
Look, if the worst should happen, the one thing you don't want is to look back and think, I should have followed my gut instinct.
Yeah, I suppose. But if the girl dies, and I felt I hadn't done as much as I could.
Well then.
Well, you made it.
I am so sorry. I overslept this morning and I've been running late ever since.
You're here now, though. That's enough for me.
I hope you don't mind, Mrs. Johnson, but I thought I'd pop round and see how you're feeling. Afraid I gave you a bit of a shock this morning.
I'm sorry, it's not a good time.
I'm a little concerned on your blood pressure reading.
Thank you, Dr. West, but I'm fine. I'm just on my way out.
As your doctor, I really do have to check. Thank you. Have you felt any nausea or headache since you left the surgery?
Nothing at all.
No more dizziness?
It was over in a second. It's just one of those things.
I had a little chat with Dr. Gold afterwards. Let him know about the mistake. He was very anxious that we try and clear up the confusion.
I don't think there has been any confusion on my side.
Of course. Well, it's normal, I'm glad to say.
I knew it would be. But then we both know you didn't come round here to check my blood pressure again.
I'm sorry.
There's no need to apologise. It's very good of you to come and check on me.
It's the least I could do. Dr. Gold's going to be terribly disappointed. He's very anxious to find out Susan's medical history.
Why is that?
Susan's got kidney failure. Mrs. Johnson?
How ill is she?
Well, she's in no immediate danger, I can tell you that much.
But she is in danger.
Susan's on dialysis at the moment. Now, if she's to have a chance of a recovery, she's going to need a kidney transplant within the next few months. Now, unfortunately, there's a very long waiting list for donor kidneys. And she'd have a better chance of a suitable donor from a natural relative.
Thanks.
Oversleeping. That wasn't anything to do with last night.
Well, it did take a while to get off to sleep.
I've been so stupid and sorry. I really thought I told you about the vasectomy.
It certainly was a jolt. I suppose you're such a natural dad. I never thought that you wouldn't want more kids.
I feel really terrible blurting it out like that.
Takes some getting used to. Somehow I just assumed that children would be a part of the picture.
I guess most women would.
Yeah. But maybe that's just it. I mean, whenever you're in a serious relationship, it's always in the back of your mind. I mean, me and Jerry, we used to think about, well, talk about when we wanted kids, not if.
So,
Thanks.
what are you saying?
I'm saying that I need to think about what it is I really feel. Not just what my first reaction is, but what it is I really want.
And?
And if I have to choose between maybe having children or being with the man I love, then it has to be you.
still see her wrapped in a blanket. They asked me if I wanted to hold her. My own baby. You never forget the smell of your own baby. It's as if I'm holding her now. That feeling's so intense. All I could give her was her name. And they even took that away. It was for the best, they said. You've no idea how much I hate that phrase. That's the first time in 20 years I've cried for my baby.
It's not always easy having to face up to the past.
You have to hide a part of yourself away. Everything has to be under control so you can just cope with the here and now. I'm so scared that my whole life will just unravel. There's someone I have to talk to. I'll have an answer for Dr. Gold soon.
I'll let him know.
You're sure about this?
Maybe there will come a time, one day, when I want to have children of my own. But right now, I know that I've met the man that I want to be with. How can I give that up for something that might never happen?
I'm sorry to drag you away from work, but it couldn't wait.
I'll always make time for you, you know that.
Paul, it's what you always said would happen one day. What we should prepare ourselves for.
Mary?
Her name's Susan now.
I can't believe it. All the times we talked about how she might start looking for us. And now she's found us.
Well, it isn't us she wants exactly. At least not in that way. It was her doctor that found me.
Doctor? She's ill?
She has kidney failure. She's gonna need a transplant.
Oh, dear Lord.
I've decided I'm gonna test as a donor. I wanted to tell you first.
Well, what are you going to tell Adrian?
The truth.
A phone call comes out of the blue and all these lives are turned upside down.
Come in. Hi. Well, somebody's happy. Must have been a cracking lunch.
The best.
So was it the food or the company?
You know how it is when it seems like something's hanging over you, but then you realise it's not such a big deal?
Yeah.
Rob told me last night that he can't have kids. He's had a vasectomy.
Well, that's not the end of the world. It can be reversed.
Yeah, but that's not the point. I suddenly saw how stupid I was being. I mean, how many chances like this am I going to... When I really think about it, Julia, I'm not sure I even want kids.
So...
And if Rob does it, then that's fine.
Okay,
It's just peer pressure, isn't it? I mean, what's expected?
Who are you trying to convince here?
Don't be silly. It feels right with Rob, and I don't want to jeopardise that.
There's a man who could do with a drink.
Yeah, leave me to it. I'm looking forward to this all day.
Well, come on then, Ronnie, you'll be there by now.
Excuse me, Dr. West, is there any chance we can see you?
Yeah, of course. Just go through tomorrow. I'll see you there. Come in. Sit down.
Thank you. Dr. West, this is Paul Kelly. I think you can see now why I couldn't make a decision on my own. Paul is Mary... Susan's father.
Your surprise is understandable, Doctor. You should know that I didn't take my orders until some years after our daughter was born.
Please, there's no need to explain. You are aware that this process is entirely confidential?
Yes, but that won't be necessary. No matter how difficult things become for me now, I feel the truth will be a liberation of sorts. I'm not ashamed of our daughter.
So do I take it you'll be able to let Dr. Gold know details of Susan's family history?
Well, there isn't a great deal of history to tell. We're all there is.
I'm sorry?
Tessa and I were both brought up in care. That's where we met. We've never known our own parents.
We were only 16 when Susan was born. We just weren't ready to take on such a huge thing as bringing up a child. There were all these people telling us what would be in her best interest. Can you imagine the guilt of doing to our daughter what was done to us?
It affected us in different ways, as you can see.
I've lived in complete denial until today. And now I have to tell my husband that I've lied to him through all our years of marriage. And Paul has to tell the bishop that he has a child. But at least we have the chance to make it up to our daughter in some way. You can tell Dr. Gold that we want to test as donors.
I'll arrange for Dr. Gold to contact the specialist who's looking after Susan. This is a big undertaking for the both of you, particularly under these circumstances. I can arrange for counselling, if you wish.
Thank you.
Can you imagine what's going through her mind at the moment? Trying to work out what she's going to tell her husband. Having kept this from him all these years. Not knowing which way he's going to react.
Well, at least it'll all be out in the open. Bottling that up inside for so many years can't have been easy.
Yeah, I get that, don't you?
Cheers. That is a welcome sight.
Yeah, well, don't look at it for too long. You're 2 rounds behind already.
Hey, you're talking to a rugby player here. You'll be ahead of you in no time.
Yeah. So, how have you settled into the madhouse?
Not bad so far. Everyone's been very welcoming.
What, even the lovely Elizabeth? I could have sworn I saw her breathing fire at you the other day.
I don't mind a scolding. Makes life more interesting. But no, I haven't had any problems. I guess Matt can be a bit abrupt at times. It can't have been easy for him recently.
No, what happened with Peter was a real kick in the teeth for him.
So did you come to a decision on that today?
Yeah, we're going to challenge Murray. We can agree on that much, at least.
It's obvious there's been some serious mismanagement. All we've got to do is make sure that whatever we say stands up to scrutiny. But we've got a good start with Jimmy, so...
I don't know about that.
I can't believe you didn't say anything. You make me feel like such an ogre. Couldn't you trust me?
When we first started going out, I thought you'd think I was a terrible person. To have a baby at 16 and then to give her away. Then with each day that went by, it just got harder and harder to say anything. I was terrified of losing you.
Surely you know me better than that.
And the girls came along and just got buried deeper and deeper inside.
And why have you locked all this away for so long?
I'm so sorry.
Oh, sweetheart.
Well, I say if she doesn't want to see me.
Just say what you feel. I love you.
So, Nick, tell me, are you a free man like myself, or are you under house arrest like this poor sap?
Now, you see, take it easy.
Free man. Again.
Again? What do you know, brothers in arms? Been there, done that, and now we're back, a bit older and wiser.
That's not what I heard. What have you heard? Fast car, faster women. That's what I was told.
You've been talking to Sarah, yeah. It's the light, gorgeous.
Anyway, that's you, isn't it?
No, I like her. The immortal one. Someone who gives as good as she gets. Or better.
No, see, now that's just a fantasy. That wouldn't work in real life.
It's working for me.
Oh, so you found this woman then? Well, when do we get to meet her?
Maybe you have.
Well, then, come on, give us a clue.
I'll tell you when you get warm.
What, that's a clue?
She breathes fire, apparently.
Elizabeth? Mate, you must be tougher than you look.
I can't believe it. Obviously, this is amongst ourselves. Elizabeth doesn't want anyone to know about us.
She doesn't.
Look, I mean it. Shouldn't have said it. Look, this goes no further, right?
Oh, yeah.
Nick. Nick.
It's my name.
You're a mate. All right. Your secret is safe for the...
Elizabeth.
What?
Among the glamour girls at a pool party, Monk is well out of his depth, next here on BBC1. And over on BBC2, snoop around the homes of the rich and famous through the keyhole in 25 minutes.